Hi, so this is my demonstration of my project called Daynestmetrics. The motivation behind this project was, well, there's a lot of different things I was doing in everyday life. Um, so whether that is like exercises or taking different substances or, even like vitamins, getting sunlight, it's kind of hard to sort of measure how that affects like your mood and productivity, right? So I kind of wanted to make sort of like a journaling application where you can input um, all the habits, lifestyle factors, and then rate your mood of the day from 1 to 10, and as well as productivity. And then over time, as you have more and more data sets, you'll be able to more accurately measure correlations between your mood and productivity with um, the lifestyle factors, right? So, um, yeah, over here, this is just login and sign up. So we'll just log in, and so actually it uses Auth0 for authentication. And this is the dashboard, but let's start with the lifestyle factors, because as soon as you come into this application, you're going to want to configure things here. So this is where you add all of the lifestyle factors, habits, even addictions, whatever you do basically on a day-to-day basis that you want to track, right? So basically how it works is you have categories, and honestly you don't have to use a category if you don't want to. You could just put general here, and you can add a factor, habit, whatever you want to call it. So just do running as an example. And once you have that there, whatever, and this is going to be used in the daily entry that you're going to fill out, right? So how do you fill it out? Well, today's the 15th. If there's a plus button, you can input an entry. So boom, and basically I did want to make this a little bit more in depth, but at the same time I feel like it could also make the measurements a little bit more inaccurate, especially if you have a lot of sliders that you're dealing with. And if it's too specific, I feel like it's going to be a little bit too time consuming, first of all, and a little bit more inaccurate, right? So I think generalizing these two things would be helpful to reduce, the time spent thinking about, how was my motivation, how was my determination, are they different things or the same thing, you know what I mean? But when we talk about mood, when we talk about productivity, you just know what it is, right? So I feel like, with any web applications, you can't be perfect, but you can try to make it the best it can be, right? So for mood, my mood today, pretty average, I guess. Productivity would be, I think 8's pretty good. And so over here, all the lifestyle factors that you filled out over here is going to show up here. And then from here, you can input if you did it or did not do it, right? So as you can see, you can imagine how this is going to be used in the future for the data visualizations and stuff like that, right? So everything you did, say you did not do. For sleep, I guess it makes more sense to just put did, and then you could leave these empty, because for sleep that just seems to make more sense for me. And for leisure, boom, boom. And let's say you change your mind, right? You don't want to fill this out for some reason. You just want to ignore this day for this specific factor, right? So you could just click it again if you want to ignore it. It's totally up to you. And I'll just go like that. Journal, write whatever you want. Boom, it's saved. And there it is. This is the average score of both mood and productivity. And yeah, so that's how you add a daily entry. And this is basically the overall of everything combined. All of the entries that you have, you're going to get the overall average over here. This is just a line chart for the overall scores for the past month. And this one's for the mood, productivity. This calendar, you can, I'm using AntD calendar as a component, but I customized it to make it look like this, and able to add entries and stuff like that. You also have the year view. You can select the month from here, and if you go back to month, it'll be December. So pretty cool stuff. And the entries tab, it's going to be basically the calendar, but with a little bit more details, more in depth. So you can also sort these 3 columns. And over here you can view the did factors, did not factors, or the journal without having to, open this up. And just like the calendar component, you can edit, you can delete, whatever you want to do. Over here you can select all and then delete selected if you want. And we got some pagination. You can edit how many rows per page you want. So I just have it at, I had it at 1 just for testing purposes, but I think it's going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That makes sense. So yeah, now the Insights tab, this is basically where the magic happens, right? So you have a good amount of data. Let's say you have like 50 entries. Ideally, I think 100 to 200 entries would be the best. Like the more data you have, the better, right? So this is definitely not a short-term thing, and I realized that, right? And I think it could put a lot of people off, but at the same time, I think certain people would love that you have to be consistent in order to get good data, right? So to start off, basically, these are all the lifestyle factors. By default, they're all checked, so you're going to be able to see all of them. And as you can see, there's certain factors that are outliers, right? And these are the ones you want to focus on. So 5 to 6 hours of sleep, obviously, that really tanks the productivity. So, a lot of people say 5 to 6 hours of sleep and they're good, right? Like, let's say like Elon Musk or like, all these like CEOs. But really, like, look at that productivity, right? So if your productivity is down here, then obviously you might be a little bit different than Elon Musk, right? Not everybody's the same. Everyone works differently. If you look here, 9 to 10 hours, right? And that's a 10 out of 10 for both categories. So I mean, if you see that, obviously it's pretty clear. I mean, correlation is not causation, but you got to take a hint, right? You got to take some clues, and you know, especially if you have a lot of data. Um, yeah, and you can also pick the date range, so you can filter by date. You can filter by factors that you did or did not do. So obviously, if you didn't do cigarettes for the day, then your productivity goes up. Um, but I mean, that's just one entry, right? So that's the reason why I added entries into this little popover right here, because if you only have one entry, it's probably not good data. So the more the better, right? And obviously you can manually uncheck everything. If you just want to see one factor, you can. And over here, this is the future statistics section, where you can view basically the top 3 lifestyle habits or factors that were the top overall, top mood, top productivity, and then the bottom. And then this is obviously if you did or did not do it. So obviously you did not get vitamin D, and the average score is a 4.0. And the about section, I feel like it was kind of necessary because I feel like this application is not really intuitive, and I do think I had to write some instructions on how to use the application correctly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you liked the project, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, thank you for watching.